Hi, everyone. We planned 3 episodes. This Young Washington series deserved 4. I'm David Fischer, and I'm so glad that you're tuning in tonight. Young Washington is in theaters right now, and we could not let this moment pass without one more conversation. Consider this our gift to you. Welcome to a special encore episode of the A250 Leadership Series, and we think you're going to love who we brought in for this one. Just as a reminder tonight, it's about 2 things here. Young Washington, a film we believe everyone should see, and what it means to be a leader. If you've not seen it yet, this weekend is your weekend. Go to angel.com/YW Encore or scan the QR code on your screen to get your tickets. This live event series was also made possible through Angel's collaboration with The Wonder Project, the creatives behind Young Washington. Just to recap, we've talked about service, resilience, and integrity. 3 conversations, 3 different live streams, 3 powerful, powerful nights. But this evening, we're going to do one more. It's legacy. Legacy is the story you choose to tell, the values you refused to compromise, and the conviction to keep building even when no one's watching. That is the heart of Young Washington. And it's exactly who our guest is tonight. He is someone who has not only appeared on the big screen in Young Washington, but has another theatrical coming to Angel later this year. But before we meet our guest, let's take one more look at the Young Washington trailer. We'll see you after.
Why can I not become a British officer?
Because you are not British, George.
There must be a path.
There is not for you.
Go dig my grave, both wide and deep.
I sense a storm looming over the Ohio territories.
To tell this world
I could go there, survey it for you.
So you have ambition.
Since the Crown sent me to serve, I've yet to have a good experience with a colonist.
I look forward to changing your opinion.
Much of that territory is unexplored. It's wild, unpredictable, and dangerous. What are you called?
George Washington.
Whose fort is that?
It's the French. And land claimed by the British Crown.
he got his
Demand the French leave.
Who does own this land, if not the one who has the will to tame it? Tell your king we will never leave.
Then they will force you to leave.
Oh.
These are not the open battlefields to which you're accustomed.
I have fought in a great many battlefields.
Not in the New World, sir.
If you fail, I'll have a colonial to blame.
This is a direct order, and we will obey it!
It's not your fault, George.
Major Washington.
You lost.
You started a war!
George, there's no fairness here.
That is not the way the world works! Then someone should remake it!
Choose your path. Make it yours.
Forward!
And prove them wrong.
Tonight, I'm joined by Joel David Smallbone, actor, one half of the Grammy-winning duo for King and Country, filmmaker, and someone I have the privilege of calling a colleague and friend. Joel and I talk regularly, and I have been looking forward to this conversation. Joel, welcome. Awesome to have you.
What a great intro, Fisher. Well done. And it was like it just came out of your heart. It wasn't scripted at all. So well done. Well done.
Listen, a lot of what our live streams are about within Angel is drawing the Angel Guild, right? The Guild audience in closer to the projects. to be on the other side of the screen, like to actually, like you literally look like you're on the other side of the screen right now. It's pretty cool.
I am.
Where are you at right now?
I'm here. I spent, as you well know, the last 3.5 months in Ireland, so the last quarter of a year in Ireland, working on a project, and I got back 6 days ago, back to Nashville, Tennessee. So I'm home.
Amazing.
I sort of feel like I've got, I'm in the twilight zone. I've got, one foot in both worlds, emotionally, spiritually, physically, even. But I'm here with you, and I'm happy to talk about our dear William Fairfax and young Washington and the origins of this great country, which I'm an immigrant to, the United States of America.
You are an immigrant, and you probably you came back from being in Ireland, where you shot Young Washington.
True story.
And really engaged the land, the people, the food. I've got to imagine when you came back to the U.S. 6 days ago, there must be something favorite that you ate.
Ramen. In fact, I had it for lunch. I've had it twice. Look, the Irish are great. And by the way, you might be asking yourself, as part of the guild, like, why did you guys go to Ireland to shoot an American film? Well, let me just say this. There's a lot of similarities between the Irish and America in the typography, but it's just stunning. So it's beautiful. The crews are really hardworking over there, which I found not once, but twice now. And we were really excited to sort of, bring the American origin story to life through this other land. But I will say the food in Ireland is not quite in accordance to my taste buds.
Okay. The fish and chips?
Back up. Loved the fish and chips. Loved the fish and chips. I had fish and chips more as a single meal in Ireland. But I love spice, Fisher. I mentioned ramen. Yes. I love Japanese food and Asian food and chili oil, and they don't as much.
Do you have that in Australia? Is there all that spice in Australia?
Because Australia is literally a 5-hour flight from Japan. And so there's a massive, speaking of immigration, there's a massive influx of immigrants from Japan to Australia, Asian immigrants. And so they brought a lot of their culture and a lot of their food to Australia. So I grew up on, that's probably why I love it. I grew up on sort of spice and Asian food and all the rest of it.
You know what I'm realizing as you're talking about growing up, there's an entire music fandom that's out there that knows who you are. I know who you are. Right. The Harmon brothers know who you are, but I'm not sure all of our Angel Guild may know who Joel David Smallbone is. Can you just tell us a little bit about
if you don't know who I am or Fisher is, you know who Fisher is, obviously, being part of the Guild. But thank you for watching this far. We're all, we're like 10 minutes into this and you're still here. So I am part of the biggest band that you've never heard of. It's called For King and Country. It's my brother and me. And we've been a duo for a little over a decade. And like Fisher said, we're a very theatrical bunch. So it's very rhythmic and very sort of performative. It's really telling, it's telling the Jesus story. It's telling the love story of God to humanity. It's telling the love story of human to human. We write love songs and God songs and life songs. But we do it all through the vehicle of sort of harmony and this sort of theatrical, rhythmic sort of tone. I had a friend, a movie director friend of mine, Andy Irwin, said that we're like Braveheart with the drum beat, and I thought, okay, I'll take that. But yeah, so I'm a part of this band, and then I also am very fortunate to be a part of the film world as well. I've done more than a few features now, and one of the most recent being Young Washington.
Tell us a little bit about how you got involved with Young Washington. Where did the invitation come from? How did that play out?
Yeah, interestingly enough, and I don't know if you even know this, Fisher, because for those of you that are watching, David Fischer and I literally met in this room behind me. It was the first time we met, was in this building. And also, similarly, I was meeting with a director-producer named John Irwin at The Wonder Project, who's been a friend for almost a decade. And we had been on and off creatively working on a film project together called Drummer Boy. And we were working on developing that film. And he pulled me aside just in the back of the office here So this is a very sort of, exciting place, evidently. And he said, hey, I've got this project, Young Washington, and there's a part in it that would just be really fun for you to play. It's William Fairfax. He's an historical figure. Sally Fairfax and William and George sort of historically had a bit of a love triangle, if you will. Like Sally was very fond of George, and they were all sort of in the same circles. And so we've sort of played on that a little bit in Young Washington, of the sort of the triangle. William is he's an English sympathizer who is very sort of bought into the sort of hierarchical establishment of this is how you do life. You acquire land and servants, and George obviously sort of conflicts with him a couple times on their ideology of how he views America and how he views life, really. Yeah.
I mean, this is a story about a founder. It's a story about the founder, right? And you've got legacy woven throughout it. I'd love you just to maybe explain to us, or just touch on, your family legacy is one of, rising up from the ashes in so many ways, right? There was a lot that happened in your family's background where you lost everything and then had to come up. And it was, can you tell us just a little bit about how you guys had to fight back in your own difficulty to kind of stand for something?
Well, what's really cool, Fisher, about celebrating 250 years of America, celebrating what it represents, because it really represents, in my mind and heart at least, it represents, this land is a land of immigrants. I mentioned we were just in Ireland, like the amount of Irish influx and Scottish influx and Australian influx, like into this great country, is very profound. And I'm proud. I'm an American citizen. I got sworn in, everyone. I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud, obviously, to be an Australian by birth as well. And my dad was a concert promoter in Australia, and he would bring artists from America over to Australia, and he lost what would be the equivalent of about $500,000 on a tour in the early 90s, an Amy Grant tour. It was right when she was crossing over, right before Baby, Baby, and all of that. And she was really hitting it off in America, but not so much in Australia. And so actually, when he was my age, he picked up and took a literal leap of faith, 6 kids, 1 on the way, and my incredible mum, and moved halfway around the world, straight right here to Nashville, Tennessee. And when he'd gotten here, he'd been offered a job. When he got here, that job fell through. And so we were just, we were faced with sort of the reality of stepping into a new land. Do we retreat and sort of tuck tail and run, or do we sort of take the leap of faith and really step in and lean in and find our footing? And we did. As a family, we raked leaves, we mowed lawn, we cleaned houses, we did everything that we could, and all the money went back into the family fund. Our eldest sister was an artist, a singer, and she sort of signed a record deal during that time, went by the name Rebecca St. James, and then we became the road crew. So, like I said, there's 7 of us, 5 boys, 2 girls, all of us boys. In my preteens, I became the stage manager and the background vocalist, and so we all kind of leaned in and sort of built this world together, and it was always been centered around these messages of hope and of freedom and of forgiveness and restoration. And I'm really proud to say, I sit here still working with most all my family. I sit here still sort of proclaiming the same message of light. I sit here still excited to be creating, similarly to Young Washington, to be exercising the ability to tell these stories and bring it, in this case, to the cinema.
Yeah, what's powerful is that Washington became someone to follow because of the choices or the decisions that he was making when no one was watching, right? And I've got to imagine you've had to kind of step into making decisions when no one's watching, particularly in the work that you do. the family
Yeah.
that you work with, your brothers, your father, so many, right? And what was, looking at Washington as a role model, particularly young Washington in his 20s, and seeing the story play itself out, how did that impact you, and how did it impact kind of as you look back years ago in your 20s and you think back like, wow, to have that kind of courage, right? Your dad, when you played that role in the movie on your family, you had to step into certain role. Like, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So speaking of films, as Fisher mentioned, I was fortunate we did a film almost with Angel, but actually with Lionsgate a couple of years ago called Unsung Hero, and I co-directed and play my dad in the film. So very close to home, as you'd imagine. So yeah, I have a taste of kind of looking at legacy, and I'll say just specifically about that role, I think it's really easy for us to kill our heroes, We do it with parents all the time. If my parents had done this and I'm damaged because, and look, it's not belittling or betraying the idea that we're all, prone to make mistakes and we've all failed, and that all of our parents at varying levels have injured us, and it's light, they've done great things and hard things, and so I'm not belittling that, but I think it's not unlike our founding fathers and mothers, if you will. We look at our parents, our biological parents or whatever, and we go, gee whiz. And then we look at the men and women that have gone before us generationally, the founders in this case of this country. And we either want to demonize them or we want to make sort of saviors out of them. And what's really cool about particularly young Washington is I really feel like John and the team did a great job of creating a very grounded, kind of fallen and confused version of Washington in the end. He had a true north, there's no doubt about it. But, the film really starts, not to get too far into it, but really starts with him grappling with like this distance between what he believes to be true and what society really is impressing on him. And he almost starts kind of chasing the crown, if you will, not just the sort of spiritual crown, but the literal crown of England. Like he starts chasing, prestige. And it's really through, I'd say literally the school of hard knocks, that he comes to a place of conviction and passion. But I'm really proud that they didn't try to create you didn't create a glowy, sort of sheeny version of him. We really, I feel, did a good job in creating a grounded. It was so many of his circumstances that actually created the man that he became. The resolve that he had was from great loss and great struggle and many questions, and ending up on the wrong side, if you will, a couple times as well. Yeah.
Young Washington's in theaters right now, and as you are talking to the audience out there and you're talking to Guild members, what do you want them to walk away with when they see this movie?
Look, I'm a lover of Jesus, and one of the things I love about the historical Jesus is that he really was a storyteller in many ways. And as a result, I've dedicated my life to telling stories through song and through cinema. And I also believe we're at a really interesting point as a country, as a nation, as a world, in asking some really serious questions about where we're going. And sometimes you've got to know where you've been to know where you're going. And what's really fascinating is this is dropping straight into the hotbed of the origins of this country and in many ways the concepts that it was founded on. And look, I'll be the first to admit it's had a very stumbly 250 years trying to reconcile with itself and trying to reconcile with its own concepts and ideologies. But I think it does a really good job of passionately portraying, again, a man who we all in very many ways respect, a man who had struggles, but someone who actually stood by, I think, the greater principles of life, that is genuine freedom and genuine equality and genuine, love for others and servant leadership and these sort of qualities that are really powerful. So it's an entertaining film. It's a gritty film for sure. But if you love Gladiator, if you love Braveheart, if you love these films, The Patriot, for instance, I think this is a great film for you to see. And you get to see my face for about 3 minutes in there as well. So that's awesome.
I think it's a great film. And I think the Guild, who, in Angel, it's unique. We have to put every single film in front of our Guild and they have to vote on it. And we've got, a whole set of people that voted and said, yes, Young Washington is a film that we want to see in theaters, that we want to see come out. What would you say to them if you could talk to those people that voted? And some of them are going to be listening to this live stream. What would you say to them?
I would say go early. I'd say if you believe in this this great land that I'm fortunate to be an immigrant of, and if you believe in these great concepts, and and if you want to sort of enjoy yourself while you're at it, then I think this is the film for you. And I particularly believe that, celebrating 250 years, celebrating and commemorating where we've come and where we can go. Like, we all have an opportunity and responsibility to be part of that conversation. And this film does just that. It's creating a conversation around where we're going as a country and looking at where we've been. And so I think you'll be inspired, honestly. And I encourage you to get out there right now, like literally finish this and go straight to the cinema today.
That's right. I love it.
Just for you, Fisher. Just
you're
for
the
you.
man. No, it's good. And I huge congratulations to you, Joel, for your success, your family's success musically, but also the way that you're impacting culture through storytelling, right? We know that storytelling is upstream from culture, and politics and all of that. And there's something powerful about this. What's next for you? I mean, I know you talked about filming Drummer Boy, which will be another Andrew release, but what is next for Joel David Smallbone?
Yeah. Well, what's cool is it has to do with you, my dear Guild member, because at some point in the next month or two, you are going to see a film come across your proverbial desk or your app called Drummer Boy. It is a Christmas musical set in the Revolutionary War about two brothers who end up on opposite sides of the battlefield. And it's sort of I don't know, if you look at Young Washington as the start to a conversation, I feel like this is sort of the cherry on top of the conversation. We developed it with John Irwin and Andy Irwin, his brother. My brother, Ben, and I co-directed it. My brother, Luke, who I'm in a band with, produced it. So we're really excited about that. That's taking a lot of my time. And I'm also working on a new album for King Country that comes out on the 18th of September. And so you can see us on the road. You can see us in the cinemas. You can listen to us on Spotify. But we'll certainly be showing up on your app more over the next few months. So take a note, and we'll look forward to seeing you then and there.
It's so fun having this conversation with you, in particular, thinking about legacy, thinking about all that Young Washington was. This wraps up just an incredible series that we've been about. Joel, thank you for joining us. You carry the same pioneering spirit of the man at the center of the story. And I think that's exactly why this conversation honestly needed to happen. Young Washington is in theaters right now. We are 1 week into opening weekend, and every ticket this weekend and the next week matters. It seriously does. Go out and buy your tickets. If you have not seen it yet, this is your sign. If you have, please bring someone else. Go and see it again. The link and the QR code is on your screen right now, angel.com/YW Encore. Thank you for being a part of the A250 Leadership Series, and thank you, Joel, for being a part of Angel and our family. We will see you when Drummer Boy comes out in Angel.
Yes, you will.
This November, right? And
That's
for
right.
those of you who missed it earlier on, if you absolutely need one more reason why you should go and see this film in theaters this weekend, here it is, the official Young Washington trailer. Enjoy it, everyone, and good night.
Why can I not become a British officer?
Because you are not British, George.
There must be a path.
There is not for you.
Go dig my grave. Oh, it's wide and deep.
I sense a storm looming over the Ohio territories.
To tell this world.
I could go there, survey it for you.
So you have ambition. Since the Crown sent me to serve, I've yet to have a good experience with a colonist.
I look forward to changing your opinion.
Much of that territory is unexplored. It's wild, unpredictable, and dangerous.
What are you called?
George Washington.
Whose fort is that?
It's the French. And land claimed by the British Crown.
Demand the French leave.
Who does own this land, if not the one who has the will to tame it? Tell your king we will never leave.
Then they will force you to leave. These are not the open battlefields to which you're accustomed.
I have fought in a great many battlefields.
Not in the New World, sir.
If you fail, I'll have a colonial to blame.
This is a direct order, and we will obey it!
It's not your fault, George.
Major Washington.
You lost.
You started a war!
George, there's no fairness here.
That is not the way the world works! Then someone should remake it!
Choose your path. Make it yours.
Forward!
And prove them wrong.